Today in Escondido, a suburb of San Diego, inside this California bungalow, authorities say, was a bomb-making factory, the largest cache of homemade explosives ever assembled in the U.S. A bomb factory so big, authorities decided to burn it down rather than try and defuse it.
In the heart of a residential neighborhood.
The weather is hampering plans to burn down the San Diego home.
Because there was an inversion layer here, they decided to wait until the inversion layer lifted so that they had clear skies.
They won't burn this house until they have winds of 2 to 3 miles an hour.
It may seem a little extreme to some people. You burn down a perfectly good house. Why?
Authorities said they really had no other choice but to burn this house down.
Can you believe this story?
It is a very unique thing to do this in a residential neighborhood. What's inside that house? Well, things like HMTD used by the military, PETN.
That huge kind of explosive that the terrorists have used to try to bring down planes.
And that home is packed with the same kind of explosives used by suicide bombers in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Crates of grenades, grenade molds, jars of white explosive powder, handguns, molds of human faces, also other wireless remote door devices, other kinds of things. Really no telling what this man, George Jakubek, was going to do with these things. Authorities say he probably wasn't planning anything pleasant.
Did you say he had molds of human faces in there?
Yeah, that's what I said. He had a lot of very bizarre things in that house. He also had a T-shirt with a Escondido Police Department emblem on there, along with a lot of other different kinds of explosives and chemicals and grenades. So we really don't know what he had in mind.
This guy who lived there, George Jakubek, what do we know about him?
Well, we know that he was an unemployed software engineer. He was apparently very disgruntled about being unemployed. That's according to his wife. We really have no idea what he was planning to do with these chemicals. We know that he did rob 3 banks in the area and is accused of robbing a 4th.
Currently being held in jail in lieu of $5 million bail. He faces 26 charges of making and possessing explosives. He faces 2 charges related to bank robbery. He has pleaded not guilty.
All right, so now we're told we're moments away. Obviously, we'll have a little bit of advance notice before they light these fuses. It's rather unusual to have this kind of thing happen. Police say the burn is going to be safe. We hope they're right.
They're going to do this very carefully.
They are being extremely cautious. They've evacuated more than 100 homes in the area. They're also going to close down I-15, a portion of it, while this burn gets underway, and they've built a firewall 16 feet around the house. They don't want to leave any stone unturned, but they say it's necessary to burn this house down to protect the people of Escondido.
The bomb squad and the fire department are going to ignite a series of remote-controlled incendiary devices that have been laid down in the house.
The sheriff's bomb arson will go in, and they're going to open the doors and the windows, and they're going to open holes in the roof. A very dangerous thing to do. This is a very volatile chemical, and so that's going to give us the good airflow and the draft, so we get that, and we get a really good, hot, quick fire.
And officials add this is absolutely unprecedented to do this kind of a thing in a neighborhood, but there are 40 to 50 different agencies involved, so they're hoping for the best, and they're hoping to protect everybody in the surrounding area. They've got all kinds of air pollution control experts on hand monitoring the air with devices that they've set up, so they're hoping it's not going to be a problem.
All right, we hope it's not a problem for you, Anita Vogel, not too far away there in Escondido, California. Thanks, Anita.
I have a mask.
Good.
For a better idea of this, I want to bring in Bob Card from the San Diego Air Pollution Control District. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Public health and safety, as well as the worker health and safety, is of paramount importance. In this case, I've been told we're a couple of minutes away from ignition. They're probably making sure everything is good to go. Weather conditions right now are good for this. We expect good ventilation. You will see some smoke at ground level. That's natural. But as this fire takes off and heats up, you'll see it elevate into the atmosphere. And like I said, we hope it disperses and doesn't cause any problems.
We're hearing we could hear some snaps and pops and, maybe something that sounds like fireworks.
Yep, fire in the hole. been told expect some explosions. That's why they've cleared the area out to a good distance.
Now, we're about 1,000 feet away right here. I have my mask just in case, but what should people in the area be concerned about in terms of chemicals and particulates in the air?
Well, you know, the up-close areas have been evacuated by the Sheriff's Department. That's where they were concerned about any chemicals in the air. Downwind, where the Air District is monitoring, we're going to be out to 3 miles. We don't expect any problems. I mean, it could be that smoke touches ground, but there will be complete combustion. This will be a hot fire, and I think what you're going to find is just basically ordinary smoke. And again, smoke is never good to breathe, so if you do experience any smoke, get indoors.
And here it goes. As he's speaking about it, you can see the smoke start to billow from the property. You can see the flames down below, and we will sit and watch as we wait to see what happens with this home. Keep in mind, PETN, it doesn't require much to blow a hole in the size of an aircraft that would easily bring it down. We don't know how much of that stuff he had in this house, but he had enough of it that they didn't want to try to get it out. That, along with other explosives, live grenades. You heard Anita, I keep calling her Anita Vogel. Yeah, it's Anita Vogel talking about masks, outlines of facial masks inside the home. What he planned on doing with all of this remains a mystery. The lawyer in me wonders how dangerous these explosives were, because when you're prosecuting a case against somebody, you want the evidence. You want to be able to show the evidence to the jury. You want, I mean, obviously, not a live bomb, but once they've been detonated, would become evidence in this crime that the police are accusing him of having committed. And yet they apparently felt this was so severe, they never wanted this stuff to see the inside of a courtroom. They wanted it blown up on the spot.
Court yesterday, they were in federal court. His attorney made a last-minute motion to go back into the house to retrieve some documents that he said could be beneficial to him in his defense. Ultimately, the judge said, no, too dangerous, can't go back in.
This is a very hazardous area.
You've got a bunch of traffic waiting now about a mile down the road. They can't go anywhere. If you missed the notification, you're not going to school, you're not going anywhere right now, and it may be another hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. Who knows before they give the all clear on this?
Is there any danger to these residents in the chemicals, in the residue that's coming off of either these flames or the flame retardant used on the neighborhood homes?
Well, they've evacuated everyone within the immediate surrounding area, but the air pollution control experts here have set up about 15 weather monitoring stations. They are remote devices. They look kind of like antennas. They've set them up all around the neighborhood. So they are monitoring the particulates in the air as this fire is going, and they're hoping for the best. Today is the perfect weather condition for this kind of fire. We see the smoke going up into the air and going to the southeast, and their hope is that it will dissipate and not affect anybody on the ground. And we're hearing a few more pops and crackles right now. So they believe they have all of that under control, Megan, but, you know, I guess you never know until this is over what really has happened here.
Well, you can see behind me, yes, the home, or what the home used to be, is still smoldering tonight. Those hot spots will continue to smolder throughout the night. And really, the bomb squad didn't want to take any chances. They wanted to make sure this home went up in flames and literally had nothing left. They packed it full of black powder and wood pallets as well as other accelerants just to make sure that that final goal did indeed happen. The inferno, intentionally set by the San Diego County Bomb Squad, set off thousands of rounds of ammunition, and small concussions could be heard during the hour-long ordeal. The garage was the first to go and was the primary area of concern with the most bomb-making chemicals.
I only heard one big explosion. The rest of them were just popping.
For those who live in the area, safety was a top priority for the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, even shutting down traffic on Interstate 15 in both directions, which, despite several days of warnings, still caught people off guard.
Horrendous. We've had a few motorists that have been a little upset, but that's to be expected.
A lot of cars backed up for miles and miles as far as I could see.
The main concern was the smoke, but following the National Weather Service's advice to wait for an inversion layer to lift, the smoke went straight into the air, minimizing toxicity for those in the area.
The sensors, I'm happy to report, probably were lower during the fire than they were when the I-15 was open.
Those who were evacuated were finally allowed to return to their homes after the all clear was given at 2 in the afternoon. But not everyone is allowed to come back home yet.
Everyone can come back except for those on Via Scott.
2 homes on Via Scott and 1 on North Nutmeg Street remain evacuated. And those who live in the Via Scott homes, we're told, will not be allowed to come back until sometime next week, as hazardous materials experts clear the charred remains of the home. Still smoldering, still a lot of flames out there. Those hot spots, again, going to continue all night long. Sheriff's Department recommends anyone who lives in this area to keep those doors and windows shut. Do not run any fans that could pull any of this outside air into your homes. It's all as a precautionary. They say it's really not a big issue, but obviously you could get irritation from the smoke out here.